Okay, Shania. Thank you so much for your post here. Really interesting stuff here. I want to comment on the three pieces. Then I'm going to leave you with your question for the week. Okay, first piece. I agree. The first piece is done very well. I think we can improve on this piece, though. Let me describe what I'm seeing. I think one of the techniques that we learned in up till now, I think it was especially in the gosh. What do I want to do here? I want to go to the announcements because I just want to make sure that my computer's running really slow lately. I think it's probably has to do with the fact that everybody's home and I'm the same, so there's probably 5, 6 times as many people using the computer this time of day as normally would be. Okay, I want to go to the announcements and I just want to draw your attention to, I think that's the Welcome to Week 4 announcement, but we have these, gosh, you know what? It wasn't Welcome to Week 4. Let's go back and maybe it was Welcome to Week 5. You know what? Let me find what I'm looking for. Hang on one second. Okay, it was Welcome to Week 3. And I just want to jump down here really quick. Shania, you looked at this announcement, so you saw this. Excellent, great. So I want to just draw your attention to these two videos right here, shading and coloring vector illustrations and illustrator tutorial creating shadows and highlights. And the reason I want you to look at that is because I think that this could be more effective. Now, there's a couple of things going on here that the artist is using to depict the light source as well as depict the shadow and highlight areas. And these are really super effective techniques. That little shadow under her chin, this little shadow over here where the baby's touching her body, then this shadow here is placed incorrectly because it's not following the light source. But this shadow is good. This shadow is good. These shadows here could be more effective, but they're good. Then that's all the shadows we have. So nothing in the background is depicting shadow and highlight, but what the artist has done here is they've counted on this kind of shadow but so there is a light source, right? The artist is showing a light source by shadow in the background, but by shading in the foreground. That creates an inconsistency that I think is kind of visually unsettling. So I would have loved to have seen this kind of depiction of the shadow areas carried through in the desk and in the leaves. And also you could add highlights or lack of, or show highlights by a lack of shadow, right? So you're indicating a light source and you're actually developing depth, dimension, and volume based on the way that the shadow works from the light source. Okay, but there's an inconsistency here because that same technique isn't used in the background. The background is using a shadow. The foreground is using shading techniques. Inconsistent. Can you see that? Let me know. Okay, this piece here, I love it. I think this piece is just fantastic. I absolutely love this piece. I want to talk about this in a second. Your question of the week has to do with this piece. This piece, I totally agree. The execution is a technical execution is profound. It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous piece, but there's some issues, some inherent issues that I totally agree. I totally agree with your assessment of this piece. I completely agree. There's nothing. It's executed beautifully, but there's just too much. What is going on here? I mean, how the heck are we supposed to make sense of this? Now, so I agree with that. Now this piece, my question for you is this. It's a really unique style. It's flat, right? There's no gradients. But my question for you is this. What technique is this designer using to imply depth and dimension in an otherwise two-dimensional piece that isn't using gradients? Okay, so how are we enforcing or reinforcing depth and dimension in this piece? What techniques are being used? That's your question. I want you to address it. And I'm really interested in your response. So go ahead and give it a stab and I'll come back and I'll let you know where I see the depiction of depth in this piece. All right. Thank you so much, Shania. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Great job. Thank you.